Well, Dr. Emeka Ejikonye is a public budgeting specialist who is also an author on that. He's joining me now live in the studio. Good to see you, and thanks for your time.
Thank you very much.
You know, looking at that confusion there, the best way to start is to ask if this is not utter confusion and failure of our budgeting law to permit, you know, an expired year being brought forward for something that shouldn't be in the first place. I see the smile on your face. For a fiscal year that has expired, that's why this confusion is on the Green Chamber.
Yeah. Well, I thank you actually for having me. I'm very grateful for this opportunity. You see, I've always said that we're not doing budgeting in Nigeria. I'm sorry to tell you this, and I hope that the audience will not see me as somebody who is just criticizing government unnecessarily. We are trying to see how we can move this country forward. Things are really bad for us now. We can't continue to make these kind of mistakes. The budgeting in Nigeria has come to be an annual ritual through which we appropriate the Commonwealth into private pockets. And we just have to stop it. We just have to find a way to stop this. This, just as you said, utter confusion. I don't know what other word to use. Is it a mockery of our system of governance or what? And I don't want to see myself dwelling into an area where I'm not competent, like the legal aspect. Is it possible that an appropriation act that had expired can be recalled while another appropriation act is subsisting? That, for me, dwells in the realm of legality, and I'm not competent in that area, please. I don't want to go there. But what I'm trying to say is, for me, as somebody who has enough idea, who is well informed about the budgetary process and budgetary activity, what we are doing here is just a mockery of governance in Nigeria. If the Appropriation Act for 2023, we couldn't, I mean, just from what I've just heard, they couldn't implement all the programs there. What we would have just done is to move it into the Appropriation Act for 2024. What's the hurry?
So in other words, you say if that hasn't been done, it will ultimately affect good auditing.
You see, in fact, when you say auditing, because for me, what we do in Nigeria is finance auditing. While me, I'm advocating for administrative performance auditing, which we are lacking in Nigeria. There's no element of monitoring. In fact, this thing they've just done, there's no guarantee that you achieve what, because there's no monitoring. The element of monitoring and evaluation is not there in the budgetary system. There's no way you can monitor what is happening. Look, governance, budgeting recognizes that governance is a conflictual relationship between the elected officials, which is these members of the National Assembly, and the president on one hand, who we have delegated our sovereignty to deliver services for improving the quality of our livelihood, isn't it? But between them and a democracy, a bureaucracy, that is what we call civil service in Nigeria, who we have also delegated the sovereignty for using the resources of the citizenry for creating an enabling environment for these people to deliver services or improving it. So the bureaucracy is not the same thing as the elected officials. And the only way you can achieve good governance in Nigeria is the capacity of the elected officials to be able to effectively control the bureaucracy and to optimally deploy it. If you can't achieve these two, there's no way, we're not going anywhere.
Now, speaking of two, does it then mean that we have two subsisting budgets operating within one fiscal year? That's
what it means. And I don't know how legal it is. Like I've seen the argument there back and forth. I am not competent to speak on that legality of it. I've never seen it done. I've never seen it. My experience, all the research I've done, I've never seen a situation where one budget is operating alongside another budget. And with acts now, when we talk about, it's an appropriation act. The subsistence appropriation should have repealed the previous one before coming into existence. That should be the practice. For you to enact an appropriation act, it means you have said, we have repealed, this one is automatically repealing the previous one, and it's now in subsistence. That is my understanding. So what we're doing now, I don't understand. I'm just totally confused of what is happening. But I'm praying Because honestly, I am tired of critique, of trying to blame, the blame game. We must try to find a way to beg, plead with our elected officials to please. The hunger in the land, the level of poverty is so much. We must have to find a way to start resolving the problems of Nigeria.
In finding the way, how tight is it for government to be claiming to spend money contained in the year 2024 budget when, in fact, it has not accounted for what is spent in 2023?
That is still part of the confusion we're talking about. And I don't want a situation I keep on dwelling on what is in the past or what is existing. I'm thinking of how we can provide solutions to move Nigeria.
I mean, these are lawmakers.
Yeah.
So now that they're trying to put some legality on something you say looks so foreign to many experts like yourself, where do we go from here?
My brother, where do we go from here? I am as confused. Sule, I am as confused as you are. I don't know what to say. When I read this news today, I've been wondering. In fact, another one that I said is supplementary budgeting. Supplementary budget. You don't do supplementary budgeting in a society or a polity that is well planned. Supplementary budgeting is what you do for unforeseen contingencies. If, let's take the instance of the flooding in Nigeria, the first time it happened, we didn't anticipate it, right? That flooding incident, the first time it ever happened, we never anticipated it. So that was when you should not do a supplementary budget to take care of that issue. By the next year, you know that this thing is likely to happen again. It becomes discretionary or mandatory. So you should be able to know how to now envisage what to do to check it, the programs to adopt to check this thing. So it's a total confusion, it's a total state of planlessness. It's total lack of planning. That is what we are suffering in Nigeria.
Is this indicative of having lawmakers who may not even have an inkling as to what budgeting is about?
I want to believe that. I'm sorry to say, just as you said, I have just published a work. It was published in the UK, it's not published here in Nigeria. On the June 7th, that book came out. Public budgeting as key for public accountability and good governance. I pray that they will have access to that book, particularly the chapter 13 that talks about applying the budgetary reform. I have not seen bring Emeka. The book is now out there. If you Google the name or the title I've just read out now, you see you can buy it and read. Please, let's find a way to move Nigeria. The other day, I saw a video of 3 tomatoes going for over 6,000 naira. I mean, to what extent, when will this abject state of poverty end?
Are there ways, as an expert, or is there a way to check the excesses or perhaps the illegal moves or by way of making something illegal legal by the lawmakers?
I think what we do, honestly, I pity our lawmakers because, just as you said, I don't think they are well informed about what budgeting is all about. And that is why they continue to do what they are doing. What we have been doing is what we have been doing since 1960, and it's not working. If there's an alternative approach, then why don't we try it? That's what I'm saying. Yes, there is. For instance, what we call budget in Nigeria today is a compilation of the objects of expenditure by line item. Do you agree with that? But I'm telling you that the budget, the definition of budgeting, that will move us to freedom or to help us eradicate the previous problem of mass poverty, is where we define budget as compilation of executive summaries of government programs for delivering services that would improve the livelihood of the citizenry. It's the totally different thing. This one is finance, public financial management. The other aspect is about governance. It's talking about policy issues. If I mention budgeting, one should not think first about money. You should think about government programs. What policies are, like the president has come in. He says it's renewed hope. If it is renewed hope, how are you defining that hope you want to read in terms of Nigerian citizenry? How are you trying, when you deploy these funds into the system, what is the guarantee that you achieve the purpose? These are the two policy issues that budgeting should be securing for us in this country. But unfortunately, I don't know, it's like we have round pegs in square holes who are well entrenched and are not ready to give. It's unfortunate for this country, and I pray that the president will understand and appreciate the need to try an alternative approach. The alternative approach is there. It has been laid out. Please, we need a situation where what is happening in Kenya was not happening in Nigeria.
Well, I think that's a fine place for us to leave it, and we hope that this will be taken into account. We'd like to thank you for your time, Dr. Emeka Ejikonye, who is a public budget specialist and also an author.